fucking roof!
Crack those beers.
Yeah, you go.
Hello, Bali Rooftoppers.
Yeah.
We are here with Andreas Arianto.
Arianto! Arriba!
And Phil is here with cultural appropriation.
Yes.
Am
I triggering you?
Yeah, I'm being triggered, mate.
I'm triggering you.
You just constantly,
Thanks to our sponsor, Prost.
triggering me.
Yeah, thank you, Prost Beer.
Oh, your microphone needs Viagra.
Yeah, well,
Yeah,
he's
you're filming
he's introing.
Oh, mate.
Yeah.
What's more important?
What do you call it? Bumper?
A bumper?
Little lead-in grab. Oh, man. Where are my Australian beer popping skills? What's
Man.
going
How
on?
do you actually do that?
Well, usually I do it with my teeth.
Yeah,
teeth. When the crocodiles are around.
So you need to focus your energy to that side and then use the physics
It's all about
It's
the
all
energy.
about physics,
it's
mate.
all about the
and
energy.
it's
mate.
all about the leverage.
and the energy.
Yeah.
And the chakra.
Well, cheers, boys.
Cheers.
It was a
Here
good
we
Bali
are.
rooftop today.
Good.
We had
Very good one.
Dorito on the rooftop.
Yeah, so people, we just had, if you're listening, we just had Mojarito crank out a serious rock set on the rooftop.
What's
rock
happening?
set.
What's
rock set.
What's
It
happening
must
to
have
this?
been love.
What's happening to this podcast? A little bit, so you guys can hear it.
Yeah, bump a bit in there. It's probably
Bumper
we've
it.
probably already released
Bumper
it,
it.
so you'd probably be able to go check it out. But yeah, that was on the rooftop. Now we're under the rooftop, continuing with some beers
Yes.
and
With a little bit of arak and what were we drinking earlier? The Balinese
Brum.
brum.
Yeah, brum.
Yeah, so brum is
sweet wine. Yeah,
It's a sweet wine made from.
I don't
From
know, maybe coconut? Or I don't know.
Really?
You're not sure?
Yeah.
Really? It does make your voice go very high. That's
But we
the
drank the
effect.
whole bottle anyway, but with the band anyway.
So if we finish that brum,
yeah.
Oh, right.
Well, all
So
the boys. I mean,
the broom for the
There's
the
how many
broom
is in
for
the
the
band?
podcast
There's
is
5 of them in the
out of
band.
there.
4 in the
yeah,
band.
we smashed it. What am I doing? I'm like
You're gonna have a shot of
I'm about to do a
Frost, yeah?
shot of beer when I've got a glass in my hand. I don't know.
Jazzy,
what
well,
I'm
you can
doing.
have a shot of that, mate.
Obviously, we've already hit that Iraq. that is noticeable.
Yeah.
Rock and you run.
So, Andreas, what's been going on in your world, sir? Besides me and Phil, that's the
Using your studio skills.
yeah. We've all been working a lot together, actually.
Yeah, and especially during this time of pandemic, I think.
Pandemic?
Yeah, pandemic.
Pandemic, the pantomime, the pandemic,
The
pantomime.
pantomime, yes.
Pantomime.
Yes.
Yeah, I think we built some more skills, yeah, and we have way more time to do stuff that we don't normally do.
Yeah.
It's
New
such
projects.
a major part of this year.
There's nothing else to do, really.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's funny how, like, if you allow yourself to just stress about the situation the whole time, you're just going to be constantly vibrating on this level of stress and not being able to enjoy the the moment at all, and not be able to produce anything or be creative.
Not learning anything.
Yeah, and I'm sure a lot of people are in that state because it's hard not to be. But I guess if you just accept it, especially like, which I think we've all done, we've all had to go, okay. I mean, because we're in the entertainment industry, like especially Phil and I, our work is predominantly gigging around here.
Yeah.
With all that work just stopped, it's like, well,
Finished.
what else can
Handbrake.
make us happy? Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's probably the most positive bounce back about being a creative person. Finally,
Well, that's to say, I
we
mean,
get some payback.
well, the main thing is like we play covers gigs to make a living, but a lot of covers, well, I don't know, majority, but they don't write or they don't create.
Yeah, right, yeah.
Some of them do, obviously, but that's we can't play our covers gigs and make our money. So at least we're songwriters, so we can keep doing and keep them busy. You know?
Which is
Honing
what-
our skills.
Yeah, which is what
Take
you
the
always want to do anyway, right? Is like there's always that thing in the back of your head that says, oh, look, at some point I want to take 6 months off and just focus on my original music, which we all do anyway all the time. Like we're all always producing stuff and writing stuff, but there's that thing that in the back of your head that says, oh, just one day, if I have enough money saved or if I have just the right time up my sleeve, I'll take 6 months off and I'll just focus on writing and being creative, and I'll find somewhere in Bali to do that or whatever. Yeah, but the truth is you never do it because you never feel like you've got enough money saved.
If
and you
onlys
never feel
become
like,
only if onlys.
yeah, exactly. Yeah. And this year, all of a sudden, bang, you're doing it. And yeah, there's a massive mental benefit to just focusing on your creativity for a while.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Surviving the storm. But it's so much more. It's so much more internally satisfying.
Yeah, and especially in this island that is depending so much on tourism. Yeah.
Well, it's like a ghost town around here. So
yeah.
I mean, not in Canggu. Canggu's just party town, but
still party town.
But this area, well, Karabakan and Seminyak, yeah, you drive down in the evenings and it's like, fuck, this is out of
Yeah, I mean, I remember.
Yeah.
I still remember when coming down towards where this house is.
Like you can't. The main road is just gridlock, right?
Oh yeah, but I mean even before that, like back in the early days when I used to drive down this way. And
when was this? Like
I guess 8, 9 years ago. 8 or 9 years ago, when I would drive down here, it was sort of driving out into the outer area where there was no one around.
Oh wow!
And it was a really quiet. It's like, oh, what's out there? And it was, and now like Canggu is just the central district of madness.
Yeah.
Excuse me. And like I've been advertising my room to rent out, and people are saying, "Oh no, it's too far away from. It's too far out." I'm like, "Hang on, it's too far out from Kuta before. Now it's too far out from the opposite direction.
10 minutes from anywhere now.
Yeah,
There's no
yeah.
traffic. So
Yeah. People just want to be literally living.
Well, you can
on
now.
top of old man's.
You can now for at the smidge of the cost. I mean, it's crazy. Like you're trying to rent your room out for next to nothing.
Yeah.
And with a maid and a gardener and fucking power and everything, and for a smittance of what you're just trying to cover your cost, and you're not getting any.
I know.
So
there's just
crazy.
no one around. Everyone's everyone's suffering in that regard. Yeah, except for Canggu.
Canggu's thriving.
It's just hilarious, hey?
Yeah.
I mean, it's still, when you drive down through the middle of Canggu during the day, I mean, you still notice how...
it's still quiet.
How incredibly quiet sunset, it is overall.
Sunset, like, a few days ago I went down there to catch up with a friend at a small little quiet little bar on the beach. But it was during the Balinese holiday. What was it called again?
Kuningan?
Kuningan. And it was packed. It was just hundreds of people, but it was mainly locals. And it was beautiful. It was a really cool vibe. All the kids were swimming in the stream.
Yeah, it was vibrant.
Yeah, it's a real thing for the Balinese to hit the beaches on Kuningan.
Yeah, it was really cool.
I was up north and same thing.
Really? So up in Bondwell?
I was still up in Bondwell.
Oh, that's right.
North Bali.
Yeah.
And walked down and, it's not often you see all the families out at the beach or swimming. It's pretty rare.
Yeah.
But they were all there, yeah.
But I wonder, so before Corona, I used to always see people building houses all the time, especially in Canggu, in Umalas.
Oh, yeah. Canggu is this building capital now.
Yeah, but are they still building right now?
I think
because I think
some are. I've got some friends that are building there, but... I can guarantee it's like there's no new building, but there could be some new buyers. I mean, is it a buyer's market? I don't know.
Is the price when
I'm sure the prices are dropping dramatically. I mean, a lot of people would be holding. I'm sure if you're a foreigner that's bought a place.
If you've got a freehold place, it's just you might as well just hold on to it.
Yeah, and if you've got a long lease, then you're probably going to just go, I'll just hold on and wait to see if it builds back up again. But
if you're renting out to make money, that's where you're just going to drop your prices, right? So,
you've got to drop the prices just to cover all your costs.
Yeah.
And you guys have been living in this house for
3.5 years now, or 3 years? Yeah.
3
years. Almost.
Well, I've been here for 3 years. You've been here for about 4 now.
Oh, right, okay.
Oh.
Wow, man.
Fucking time flies when you're on the island of the gods.
It's out of control.
So I'm the new guy in here. I
Island
just
of
moved
the dogs.
to Bali
The Krat House.
Yeah.
I still haven't got that.
You haven't got the hat. You haven't been initialized.
Oh, you were post Krat House cap.
I think I've got a spare cap around. I'll give you.
Right.
Yeah, because Ian bought them. So
we need to get some Bali Rooftop ones done as well.
Yeah,
we should actually. Yeah. But yeah, Ian got these made for us. So for those you explain what the Kraut House is. I think we explained it in the last podcast, but
Right, I don't know if we have explained it, but yeah, like it's basically a
hub.
The hub of people, and like we're all into kratom, which is like predominantly comes from Indonesia. Indonesia's the biggest exporter of kratom.
Borneo, we get our
Comes
stuff.
from Borneo mainly, yeah.
And
which
what
is
our stock?
it's a leaf that's related to the caffeine plant. And it's got a lot of qualities.
It's in the opioid family, but
is it actually in the opioid family, or it just has effects?
I googled
to that
it,
nature?
and Google is God. So
Dr. Google.
So what I read about it is that it's got a molecule, whatever you call it, a chemical, whatever that hits the same part of your brain that heroin does. Mm-hmm. Not saying it's heroin, but it like painkillers do that. There's heaps of painkillers that hit the same part of your
to ease pain.
It just triggers the same.
Well, no, I mean, what's the name of painkiller like that? It's got an opioid in it, like Digesic. What do you call those?
Panadine, Fort.
Yeah, Panadine. Those ones have got
like morphine in it.
Yeah,
or?
well, it's,
no, not morphine.
It's chemically made. It's made in the lab, but it attacks the same part as.
Yeah, sure.
And it gives you that real slight numb
feeling of relaxation.
Yeah. So a chemist. I read a paper.
Hey Phil, you're writing another paper, are you?
But
I
read one little paragraph of this, and I was just like, it hits the same part of your brain that heroin does.
Yeah, right.
So it gives you that same reward system.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure it's like coffee hits the same part as meth does, but
it's
all about the strength and the danger.
Well,
of it.
Caffeine is definitely a drug as well. It
is. Yeah.
I mean,
it is meth.
So there's
and also sugar.
Yeah, well, sugar is the same as cocaine. Like they've done
sugars.
NRIs.
I wonder what's caused more damage in the world, sugar or cocaine.
They've actually, there's another one. They've done brain scans, and I don't know how they did this. They gave someone cocaine, and they looked at the part of the brain and then that fired up. Then they gave them, and then another person sugar, and it's the same part of the brain.
Wow. Same part of the brain.
Yeah,
wow.
sugar and cocaine, same reward system. So it might be just serotonins and stuff like that. But very interesting. Yeah, I'm sure.
Mum came in when I was 3, just found me snorting sugar off the top of the toilet seat.
What are you doing?
Calling out to my sister, I left you lying in the toilet.
You're doing brown sugar. You don't want brown sugar. You want white sugar. That's the good stuff.
Icing sugar, baby.
Goes up the nose faster.
That's probably why there's that vodka shot called the Russian cocaine.
Oh yeah,
I always pull it out
those in Japan
at parties.
every year.
It's like vodka.
Jesus.
It's great. It's not a super well known shot. I still don't know where I learnt it, but it's like, have I ever given it to you?
No. You haven't we haven't had it in the Kraut House.
I don't think I've done it here, but it's a shot of vodka, and you get a lemon wedge, like a nice even chunky wedge. Then you do a plate of icing sugar and a plate of freshly ground coffee. And with the lemon wedge, you dip one side in the icing sugar and one side in the coffee. So it's like
real
yin
coffee.
and yang.
You actually use ground coffee?
Yeah, like real ground.
Oh, okay.
Not instant coffee,
not
like real ground coffee.
All right.
And so you get that, like, yin and yang, like white one side, brown the other side.
Yin and yang.
Just throwing it in there for those that want to feel like their alcohol is spiritually developing them.
It's about balancing the chakras, right?
Yeah.
when you're doing shots.
Yeah, or numbing them. And so you put the sugar side down on your tongue, and you basically just bite into the whole thing and just suck into it, and then rip it out of your mouth, and then throw the shot down, and swallow it all with the shot.
Yeah.
Wow,
and
it's amazing.
It sounds disgusting, but it's got this real, almost like a vanilla-y edge taste, aftertaste to it.
You got the bitter,
the sweet,
yeah,
sour.
Well,
Sorry.
coffee,
Yeah, you got
coffee's
sweet,
a little bit
sour.
bitter, sour. Yeah, so it gets all the taste buds going, and the vodka is quite. But
And the
it's a
vodka-
fireworks.
kind of like,
Yeah, it's really good.
yeah.
Wow.
And you get this incredible, it's called Russian cocaine because it's vodka, but it gives you this massive, like, a hit.
It's an illegal hit, not illegal.
It's legal.
but it's legal.
legal
Yeah.
one.
Yeah, I mean,
Okay,
it's like, you just bang, you're like, whoa, because the sugar and the caffeine hit you, and then obviously the alcohol comes right charging up behind it. And if you want to go out for a big night with a bunch of friends, you just sit down with a bottle of vodka and a bunch of lemon wedges.
Have
and
you
just
done it with a Russian in here? And I
done it
wonder
with a
how they
Russian.
react to it.
I think the last one I
get
did with
Anna
you.
over and
The last one I did with you was in the kitchen in Japan, in Nagano, and I think I blacked out after that.
Wow.
I drunk two
no,
bottles of red wine.
No. We wish you would black out after that.
Oh, right, okay. I don't remember that part. Anyway, hey, Mum. Hey, I'm okay.
It's all right. He's grown up. He's grown up.
Yeah.
That was the last one. We had like all the crew in Japan in the hotel where we do our gigs in Japan. We had the whole hotel crew all just lined up and made the Russian cocaines. Like most of them were like, that was good, and there was like a few of them were just going, that was fucking disgusting.
Yeah, but most of the time you've done it in the bar in Japan as well, and line them up with like lock-ins just with the staff and that, and everyone's like,
Before you perform?
Yeah, because it's weird because you get
man.
you get all the coffee in your mouth and your teeth are all black. But at the end of the day, everyone's like, "Fuck, that's pretty good. Let's do another one." Yeah,
it's good. It's good. Just raving alcoholics in that country when you're working.
Oh, Japan.
Unbelievable.
Yeah, who knows?
Yeah.
Who
So
knows?
you've done so many touring gigs, I mean, overseas. And
Every year.
I wonder how that affects you creatively. I mean, not only the gig itself, but maybe the people you run into.
It definitely.
Well, New York does it.
Changing environments always
Yeah.
really gives me fresh bursts of creativity when it comes to songwriting. Like every time I go to Japan, as soon as I'm alone in my room in the snow, man, like or I go down into the bar and set up all the sound gear. Like most of my next year's original set of music comes from that time. Like,
I see.
because I spend a lot of time during the day just in the bar. It's just that as soon as you're in a completely different environment, like temperature wise, people wise, surroundings, everything, I think it really sparks creativity. I think changing environments is really and traveling is really good for you.
But
Do you find that as a writer?
Well, the first thing I noticed when I first moved here is that because it's so easy to find nature in here compared to Jakarta, and the sky is almost every day is clear.
Gray?
Yeah, clearer in here, and it's almost every day gray in Jakarta.
Yeah, sorry.
And I find that I am not only happier in here, but so I used to always write like Facebook status or something like that, or just write. I wrote essays on my, what do you call it?
On your wall on Facebook?
Not only my walls, everywhere.
Blog.
My notebook,
Oh,
notebooks,
yeah.
on things that bother me,
Oh, right,
and
okay.
I don't do that anymore.
So your main writing, like your main reason for writing when you're in Jakarta was to gripe or was to express disappointment or being upset
something
about
like
the situation.
That. Yeah, the political situation in Jakarta.
And since you've been,
close here.
do you think it's because it's a bit of a bubble here about all that stuff, or it really you just feel better? You just feel better about life living in this environment.
I think not only the sky and the sunlight, also the pollution is way lower in here, so it affects my mental state, I think.
Wow, like imagine what that does on that many people as a whole.
Yeah.
All being in a city that has that feeling of oppression, like when it comes to pollution and sunlight and traffic.
And having to work all the time.
Yeah.
And it's very cramped and
Yeah.
squashed. But then you got New York, which is similar, but obviously different city,
Very
different culture.
different vibe, though.
But there's so much.
But New York's
creativity
also
there.
like literally, it's an island. There's something about being surrounded by water. I
Right.
think
I see.
I don't
Yeah,
know
yeah,
if
yeah.
that's really a part, but I feel like that's a part of it when I'm there.
Right.
I feel like there's a
negative
feeling.
ions.
I just feel there's a feeling of like you can feel that even though it's a city, the fact that it's a city on an island, there's just something about it that's just.
But
cool.
mind you, it's very multicultural, right?
Yeah,
Oh, it's
that's
just-
one of
You've-
the things
you've
that
got-
separates Jakarta
Yeah.
to Bali. Also,
Right.
Bali is more international
Yeah,
than
yeah, yeah.
Jakarta.
Yeah.
Although we Indonesians are, we have so many different cultures, but we are Indonesians, so
Yeah,
we
yeah,
have
yeah.
the
Yeah,
and
similar cultures.
I still feel like, despite all the different cultures in Indonesia, Jakarta is still very much a culture of its own.
Yes.
It's not like Jakarta feels like the epicenter of all those cultures.
it's not.
It just feels like Jakarta is Jakarta.
Yeah.
Which is very much Java.
Yeah.
It's very much a
it
West
is.
Java Jakarta place. You know?
Yes. It is.
Whereas, I mean, Bali might not be representative of all the cultures of Indonesia either,
No,
but
it's
it's
not.
definitely representative of a lot of world cultures.
Yes, and to be able to experience that many more exciting and maybe exotic for me, exotic cultures being performed or being
Well, the Balinese culture is so thick here, right?
Yes, also
Well, I
there was,
mean,
There's a temple on every second
Yes.
corner.
I mean, if anyone has experienced the difference in cultures between Bali and Jakarta, it's you, and the fact that since you've moved here,
Yeah.
you've not only got into a relationship with a Balinese girl,
Yes.
you've changed religion.
Yeah.
So
I'm becoming a Balinese.
Tell us about that. Like, you've literally, how was that process for you? Like, going, you know, obviously it came through love for her, and it
Yes.
came through deciding to make a decision to be part of her family and part of her world. But was it also, tell us about when that decision came, like when were you asked to do that and what made you
Yeah.
decide to do it?
Yeah, so I grew up in a Christian family, and then growing up, I found myself lucky to be able to be in touch with interesting people in Jakarta, and one of my best friend, he introduced me to skepticism, or
It's probably the
actually
best
is-
religion around.
Well, question everything, eh?
Yeah. So
Yeah.
after that, I became more open to just anything. I mean, religions are so deeply connected to cultures, right? Everywhere in the world.
Geographical.
So that prepares me to this state right now. And then one of my, not only one actually, I had a breakup, a romantic relationship, and then it was a long relationship. I had 4 years with my ex, and then around the same time I also broke up with my business partner, with whom I had 10 years of working relationship with. He was my manager. Then after that, I found myself, it's like being floating in the ocean, something like that.
Just flowing with the wind.
Feeling a bit lost?
Yeah.
Feeling a bit lost?
Almost
or
like
feeling-
that, but I was so ready to just move out
change.
of the city.
Yeah.
What was the business that when you say you had a manager, what was he managing?
The music business. I mean, I had this production house, so to speak, and he would manage all my business,
All your
administrations,
clients, yeah.
something like that.
That was composition? That was writing composition for people? Or?
Writing or producing or mainly all the things that I still do right now. And I finally found enough courage to say to myself that I can do this my own, and I want to embark on a different story of my life. So yeah,
You
here
took
I
a
am.
risk and just like,
Yeah,
"Fuck
yeah.
it, I'm going to jump."
So that was all a lead up. So are you saying that was all a lead up to the decision to move to Bali?
Yes.
Right. So
Yes.
that was all like all the things that you believed in and that you were used to. You then learnt. You started to question,
Uh-huh.
and then you started to realize that you wanted to be free of all of it.
Yeah, you can say it like that, or maybe just it prepares me to be so to have less worriness, less worry to start something new in a new city, to start a new life. Actually,
Is Bali a place that, like, generally for people in Jakarta or for yourself, was always like this exotic dream place anyway?
yeah, we can say it like that because I mean, the last few months, I had families and friends flying here to Bali to just escape the city from they escape Jakarta only for a week something, or maybe 3 days, and it's enough for them to feel alive again.
Feel
Just
refreshed, get a
unwind.
bit of sunlight,
Unwind,
lose the
yeah,
pollution,
decompress.
breathe freely.
And
Yeah.
also, I think the culture, the Balinese culture, because we have majority Hindu here, while elsewhere it's Muslim.
Yeah.
So
Still a lot of Muslim here, but dominantly
predominantly Hindu.
yeah,
So it's it doesn't, how to say it in a good way. Yeah. It doesn't judge you, so to speak. The culture doesn't judge you.
So you would say that Hinduism, Balinese Hinduism, isn't concerned if somebody is here and decides to and wants to practice another religion or act differently according to their own religious practices.
Yeah, something like that.
Because
I
if
think
if that visitor or that guest, I guess, is of a different religion, well, that's fine for them to do whatever they want to do,
Yeah.
as long as they don't disturb the people,
culture, yeah.
the culture that are,
Their way of
and their
life.
own practices.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, Balinese are more open to different cultures. I think from since
and obviously changes as well.
Yeah.
On the island, a lot of change in the last 40 years, 30 years.
Yeah, I
I
guess
think so.
like there's a lot of change, but there's this beauty in the fact that it doesn't matter how much has changed and how much sort of in terms of like industry and infrastructure and all that kind of stuff. It doesn't matter if it's in the middle of like the most central busy area. They will shut down the traffic for a ceremony
I love
without
that.
a
Every
second
full
thought.
moon, I'm going to a gig and it's like, oh, okay, the road's closed off, and they'll put some white and everything.
Which is just
I have to
such
go the long
and
way
you
around.
don't whinge about it.
You don't question.
Oh, it's
It's
such a
like,
great,
all
it's such a great line. It's
Yeah.
like there's absolute acceptance of other people doing whatever they want. If they don't,
Yeah.
if they're not Hindu, that's fine. You do what you want. You believe what
Yeah.
you want. You act how you want. That's fine. We're not going to worry about it.
Yeah.
But we are going to continue doing what we do,
Yeah.
and nothing's going to stop.
Something beautiful about that.
Yeah, it's
actually.
great.
Yeah,
I mean,
There's no police. They're blocking the roads. It's a local banter.
Yeah.
The community chiefs,
Yeah.
I guess you'd say. And like even at the top of this road, I've come home to a gig and it's like, I can see my house. It's like, sorry, mate, we've got 100 people coming up with a ceremony coming up. And it's like, okay.
Yeah, it's great.
You
Just
know?
I love watching the just.
Yeah.
Even if you're late for something, it's
Yeah.
just great
You just
to just
accept
go, well, that's my bullshit, isn't it? And like just watching like, a couple of hundred people just slowly meandering down the center of the road, just going, mate, we're just doing a ceremony. This is our thing.
Yeah.
It's great, isn't it?
Hey, flatmate. Just having a podcast. Just saying hi to a flatmate, Leah.
Feel free to do a stroll around the table. Yeah. So anyway, moving forward on that, you've moved here. You obviously. So what was the final decision to move here? What was the moment where you went,
The nail in the coffin.
I'm packing it up. I'm out of here.
So I moved here because my mate just moved earlier.
Your maid.
Your mate. Your
My
mate.
friend.
I love it that you say mate because that's such an Aussie
Because I'm
word.
so used to
Yeah,
hang out
that's
with
great.
you guys.
It's such a. It's awesome that
Yeah,
love it.
I used to play in a band with him, and then he moved to Bali. I think it was 3 or 4 years ago, and then he went to play in Jakarta, not so far from where I stayed that time. And I asked him, "How's Bali, man?" And then he's just, "Yeah, you should just stay with me." I mean, so his wife was returning to her home country. It was in Spain. Yeah, she's a Spanish, and he said that I can stay at his house for a month actually, and to feel Bali not only as a tourist, because I used to always just visit Bali for not even a week, so I never immersed Bali into my daily life. I mean, it was in January last year, 2019. I stayed there for 3 weeks. I went to Ubud a lot with him because he plays a lot in Ubud. He is a really good flamenco guitarist.
Oh, right.
And his wife is also a singer.
Oh, yeah.
And she's a dancer. She's a
They're
teacher.
amazing. Yeah, I saw them at the Orchard.
Oh, yeah,
I was
you've
like,
seen them.
where did these guys come from?
I remember.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember Leanna
It's
telling me about
amazing,
them.
and he's amazing, yeah.
Back before I met you, actually. I think.
Yeah.
What's his name?
Adin.
Adin. Yeah,
Adin and
yeah,
Angela.
yeah.
So I played with them in Jakarta one time. I had to learn all the terminology, all flamenco stuffs.
Well, it's flamenco, yeah.
Yeah.
Bum, 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 bum.
Not like
That's more like a Cuban.
yeah,
Yeah.
Bum,
different kind of Latin.
yeah.
Not Latin America. So that prepares me for that. I mean, we didn't play flamenco songs because his wife was away, so we did like Latin jazz, or even we played Malay music.
Malay.
Malay.
Oh, right, yeah.
Malay, not as Malay is a, what do you call it? Tribe. Yeah, Malay.
Not Malaysia.
Well, Malaysia. The word Malaysia comes from Malay, the tribe Malay. It's a culture where they have.
From where? Where
From Sumatra.
Oh, Sumatra.
Sumatra Islands,
right,
and
okay.
they use accordion a lot.
Accordion.
Accordion, yes.
Squeeze
Really?
box.
Yes.
Wow.
Wow, I didn't know that.
What?
Yeah.
How did accordion?
The Dutch probably brought that in, right?
Maybe so, yeah.
Yeah.
There
I'd say
are
they would,
there's
yeah.
so much
That's
acculturation happening in this country.
Yeah.
It's amazing.
Interesting.
Oh.
So that after that I went back to Jakarta for a month to prepare my move. And then I moved out to here.
Arak.
It's a good time for Arak.
Yeah, well, let's just pour these
So,
shots of Arak
People
while
that don't
you
know,
tell
this
the
is
story.
the local moonshine called Arak.
Moonshine? You call it?
Moonshine? Would you call it moonshine?
It's kind of moonshine,
It's
I
kind of-
guess. I mean, it's
not
like
made in a-
it's like
It's kind
not
of made in a bucket.
yeah, it's not like it's brewed in a a proper legal factory of covering all the health and safety regulations.
Well, I think
just
it's-
like bootleg.
Is this one made with
Bootleg
coconut?
booze.
Or it's the northern one that's made
Arak.
with...
You bought this one, Andreas?
Yeah.
This is made here, right?
My friend
South
who's
Bali.
a Balinese, he gave me this bottle of good Arak.
Nice.
All right.
Yeah, it's clearer,
What's the
clearer than
spirit?
water.
It's-
It's literally burnt the
strong.
water out of itself.
Tastes like donkey piss, but it...
Yeah,
Cheers, guys.
Cheers.
rock and roll.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Sling.
So then you then you made the move, and then since then you've fallen in love,
Yeah.
gone deep, moved in with the girl, and then what was the proposition towards you becoming a Hindu?
A Hindu. So the skepticism prepares me for this actually.
Why did you change religion? Skepticism.
How do your parents feel about this? Are they okay? Or Or was that a personal question that you don't want to...
My mom passed away before.
It's time to get personal.
3 years before I moved here.
Yeah.
So,
I was 3 years prior. Okay.
or maybe 4. When was it? I forget. And then I told my old man. He just told me that I should remind you that we grew you up as a Christian. Yeah, for sure we expect you to stay the same. But I reckon that's your own decision. You can.
Oh, that's great.
Follow it.
So he's very open
cool.
to it. And
I'm surprised actually.
wow, that's beautiful. I think it's
I was also surprised when I think it was in 2010. I went to Bali and I came home with this tattoo on my head.
It's pretty hard. You got that done in Kuta, yeah?
Yes.
You get a kid and they hold.
Yeah, that's where I got my first tattoo.
Oh yeah.
Is that your first tattoo?
Yes. Only my only
camera.
There we go.
Yeah. Forte or fortissimo.
Forte. Fortissimo consists of 2 F's.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
so
Because he takes so many Penadine Forte. Yeah, I got my first tattoo was a Kuta tattoo as well. I wonder if it was the same. I mean, there's so many places, but do you remember where you got it done?
I think it was called Dolphin.
Okay.
But I'm not sure if they're still around. Maybe they do, but I don't remember where.
Man, you went straight for the neck tattoo.
Yeah.
That's
like gang
ballsy, man.
That's like a gang tattoo.
Yeah, that's hardcore.
Maybe inside I'm an exhibitionist.
Even when I first met you, I was like, whoa.
Whoa,
This guy's in a fucking gang.
This guy's going to headbutt
I come
me.
from New Zealand, and if you got a neck tattoo, it's like he's in a gang. Well, back in the old days, but now it's just like he's from Chungu.
Yeah.
So your dad was cool with the tattoo?
Yeah, he was cool.
Yeah, right.
Wow.
Good
My mom was cool.
Yeah?
Yeah, right.
Your parents sound really cool, actually.
With the neck
Yeah, I'm
tattoo.
surprised, but
Really open.
in my head, they are really conservative.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
I mean, you go either way, I guess, don't you? Like, it seems as people get older, they either get more and more caught up in their own rigid one way, like it has to be like this or it can't be any other way. Or they just get to that point where they're like, you know what?
it doesn't matter.
I've been
Can't be
stressing for
fucked.
too much, for too
Can't
long
be
about the little
fucked.
things. Yeah, and it's just,
Yeah.
people should just do what they want, you know?
Well, it is that saying, the older you get, the more you chill out. You know, I've got so many mates who it's like, yeah, my dad's old now. He's calmed down.
Yeah.
He's chilled out.
Well, there's a lot of
Yeah.
I think even sort of the first, especially 20 to 30, even maybe up to 35, there's a natural progression of battling to prove who you are to not just others, but to yourself.
Yeah.
Like by setting boundaries, you're basically, and by setting boundaries really strongly, by getting angry at people because you believe a certain thing and you stand for a certain thing, you're kind of solidifying who you are to yourself.
Yeah.
Like you're convincing yourself over and over that this is who I am now. I believe this, and I should be really I should have a strong reaction about this thing because that not only tells others who I am, but it tells myself who I am and who I've become. And then I guess once that shell is really hardened and you get used to it, and after a while you grow so used to it that you just know who you are and you stop stressing about it or having to prove it.
Well, the crust softens.
Yeah, and then you get to a point where you're like, oh, hang on, everyone does that. And just because someone else's shell is a very different shell to mine and it's proven different things and it has different points where it breaks and points where it's angry and all that kind of stuff, it doesn't mean my shell's the right shell and their shell's the wrong shell. It just means that we've both tried to prove who we are. And actually, it's pretty cool if we just hang out and together and share shells,
Yeah,
you're not so stressed about it.
Yeah, and finally you notice that even though we are so different, but we are the same. The more you get to know people from different backgrounds.
Well, it's the more you travel. If
Yeah.
you're a traveller, I mean, I've travelled a lot, and you've travelled a lot. You've travelled a bit, I think.
Yeah, but I don't think more than you.
But you kind of realise what I've realised the more I've travelled around different continents. It's just like everyone wants the same thing. They just want to be happy.
Yeah.
They want to be safe. They want to eat.
They want to be acknowledged.
Yeah.
Also,
They want food, they want shelter
Yeah.
for like the basic survival
I mean,
thing. And then they want...
Acknowledgements more come with Facebook and Instagram, maybe.
Nowadays, yeah.
But acknowledgement, maybe from your mum or dad or a girlfriend.
I think acknowledgement's a big thing within the
it
human...
counts within the community.
The human condition,
however big your community is or your family. But definitely travelling helps with... Because when you travel a lot, you see a lot of different cultures and different ideas. You might not believe in that sort of thing, but everyone's the same, really, at the end of the day.
That is the amazing part of travelling, isn't it? It's like you can go to a place where all their cultural differences are so vastly different to what you've grown up with.
Unless it's extreme religious ideas, when you get that.
But even within really extremely different cultural and religious ideals, the individual themselves still yearns for hope, love, empathy, forgiveness.
Unless it's the KKK, maybe. But even then, they can be broken down to someone who is within that KKK situation, within that tribe that they've dedicated to themselves to. Love.
They want to be acknowledged.
They still want community.
They want to be heard.
They still want to be acknowledged.
And they want to play a part within that small tribe or club that makes them feel special, that makes them feel like they've got power.
Gang is, right? A gang,
and love.
A group.
Yeah,
it's a community, and that's the psychology about gangs.
Yeah, what's that? There's a blues musician. I can't think of his name.
Yeah, he was on Rogan.
He travelled. He
all
travels
all through the south, and through the KKK area. He wrote a book, and it was like number one.
Yeah, and he's like it's this black blues player, and he's turned all these heavy KKK members into non-KKK members.
The head of KKK.
And it also
I saw that video.
He just sat down with them in a room.
It all started with
and it took time.
Well, it was after one guy saw him play, and then sat with him at the bar, and they had a drink, and after a while, he admitted to him. He said, "Oh, you know what? You're a good guy. I've never actually had a drink with a black guy." And he was like, "What? You've never had a drink with a black person?"
Wow.
No. And he goes, "In fact, I'm like a head dragon or whatever it is with the KKK." And he's like, "What?"
The dragon leader. Or
and then he met up with him the next time he was in town. And the next time he met him, he brought his robe and he said, I've given up. I've left, and I want you to have this.
And he gave him his robe.
Gave him the robe.
That robe was like the head. There's 3 or 4 heads of the.
And it was that simple fact that, it just comes back to what we were just saying. It's connection and love and understanding that even pulled him out of thinking that his tribe was the only one that could give it to him, and that he needed to hate anyone outside of it.
The same thing. You could be at a rock concert and there's 80,000 people, right? And there could be how many religions and how many ideologies and how many sexualities and how many whatever, but you're all bunched in this area looking at this one point in time
and you just enjoy it,
and you're all together just going, fuck, this is amazing.
Sharing
but
a
outside
moment.
of that, you're probably fighting or stabbing each other. That's where music
it's like those classic moments in like the world wars where they've been situations where, like on Christmas Day, the two sides that are fighting each other in close battle contact just cease fire for a day and are throwing each other presents over the trenches, like throwing each other turkeys and sharing stuff.
Wasn't there one where they actually two sides got up and walked towards each other? I don't know if it was you that told me, or
I don't remember that. I just I remember a story where they were all throwing presents to each other, like throwing turkeys over the lines, and it was ceasefire, and then the next day back to the killing.
How many times those guys in the World War have had their rifle pointed at someone and they're just like, I've got a family, I've got kids, and they've gone, what do I do? Do I kill this person? Or they're just doing their job for their country, right?
And that's the horrific part, because the only way to train a soldier is to convince that soldier that the enemy is not. You don't want your soldier to think that the enemy is a human.
It's a human being.
Which was a lot easier back in the day before social media and all that kind of stuff, because you could paint a picture of the enemy that they couldn't change the picture because they didn't have access to any other pictures. Like I remember reading about some of the English soldiers in Germany after some of the bombs were dropped, and it might have been English or American soldiers, Western soldiers, and they were shocked that they could hear women crying that their babies had died in the bombs, because they couldn't believe that. They were like, oh, what? These Germans have human feelings? Because they were so convinced that the Germans were just
evil,
beings. Yeah. It's crazy.
Well,
hey?
the propaganda machine that came in and said they don't have feelings, they are robots. Whatever the propaganda was at the time. And it was just cartoons that was inbred, like TV. They had 2 channels or 3 channels.
It's the war machine.
Now we've got 1,000 channels that we can look at.
Not to mention the internet.
Yeah.
It's crazy. I wonder if, I always do wonder if there's ever a point where religion starts to all mold together or fade. It doesn't seem that it's that way.
Never happen.
It doesn't seem that it'll ever go that way. But
unless the aliens come down and go, you're a...
Well, I've often wondered if that's going to happen,
unless the aliens come down and go, by the way, guys, you're a petri dish and we made you.
Yeah, but then part of me thinks... but even that would actually solidify a lot of beliefs here, because a lot of people would just go, oh, well, there's proof that... Like a lot of people would go, oh, that's Satan, or that's the
God,
evil. That's
Well, maybe the religions will not die out, but it will evolve into something else. I mean, look at the Egyptian civilizations and then the Greek civilizations.
It's still quite a grey area though, the Egyptian, because they're still trying to work out.
But I'm sure they had a very different belief system to what we have now. I'm pretty sure they weren't just straight up Christians.
Well, there's that other thing where I haven't looked into it too much, but dare I say it, another podcast I heard was they were talking about, well, in the Egyptian times, they might not have been slaves. They might have been paid
workers.
Yeah, they weren't slaves. Like, I might have to Google that one.
No, I mean the belief system.
I mean, well, because in movies, like in Egyptian times, it was like whooping people and killing them to make them move the blocks, to make the pyramids, right? But there's another theory that they weren't actually slaves. So these histories are a little bit jumbled. It's
always jumbled. There's another. I remember reading what should have been, if it's true, it should have been a major headline. I remember reading this thing that they realised that camels weren't even used as pack animals. Weren't even used as pack animals around the time of Jesus. So this whole picture of the 3 wise men on the camels and all the way the camels were put into, just like written into the whole history around the time of Jesus in the Bible, that they found through just finding all bones of camels of that time, that camels that were used as pack animals or slave animals or whatever, however you describe it, to be ridden on and to be used to transport things, all of those camels showed particular, when they, this is so interesting, when they dig up their bones, they find they have a particular compression to their knee structure in their bones, because from the weight of carrying humans and transporting goods, and that they realized that came after that period, a long time after, that it came around the time that the Bible was written. So the people that were writing the Bible were already used to them being pack animals, so they were writing them into the story. But in actual fact, they hadn't been around when the story took place, which just would seemingly prove that the Bible is very much a story being told, and distorted and laced with fiction.
Yeah.
Well, and it's been changed. I mean, the Bible's been changed through every king, every pharaoh. Well, not pharaoh, but kings will change the Bible to suit themselves. You got the first,
but you
Old Testament, New Testament, and I mean, this is a little bit of controversy.
Controversy.
Controversy. Oh, cheers, guys.
Cheers.
A bit more Iraq in the system. Boom.
Yeah, that's why I'm more interested in the dharmic, you call it dharmic religions, like the Buddhism, the Hinduism, because it's...
Or Dharma. Was it Dharmic or
Dharmic?
Dharma?
Yeah, from Dharma.
Yeah.
I still don't know why they call it like that, but the Abrahamic religion was, it has this nature in itself that stories got distorted all the time, while and they all have this same source of inspiration that somebody will tell them to write these books. And with dharmic religions, it's more humans are more expected to be more connected to the nature, and I think that's really beautiful in itself.
Yeah.
So that resonates more with you.
Is that more pagan sort of thing? Well, that's why the religion here, so it's more closer to pagan.
Yeah.
Because the Hindu here is way different from India.
Yes,
well, it's
so much different.
Same gods, very same gods.
Yeah.
But a little bit more black magic and a little bit of Buddha and a little bit,
It's a combination of many things.
Not that they practice black magic, but there's different type versions of mysticism.
Yeah, it's not voodoo, but it's
we're not worshipping the trees, not worshipping the mountains, but we acknowledge them as something that we cannot really. We shouldn't really. You shouldn't think ourselves as the top of the chain. I mean,
Well, that's what I love about all the statues you see around. It's like checkered, black and white checkers, and it's about the balance, right? Black and white.
Yes,
black and white.
Yeah.
But in India,
balance.
I mean, I spent 6 months in India. I never saw that sort of stuff. Not saying it's a better religion or a worse religion.
It's just different.
But it is a different Hindu in India. Where here it's it's different feel.
I love it cracks me up when I think about that. What am I saying?
What are you saying?
How the early
What are you saying?
the early ideas of witches and paganism that were viewed as so anti-human and so anti-spiritual, like they were so like. The idea of witchcraft or black magic and paganism was just viewed as absolute terror. Like it was like this evil thing that you were practicing. When the more we look at it now and we look at what they were saying, it was more about being aligned with nature and like you said, believing that you weren't above it all, you were part of it all, and you were just a simple cognitive part of this whole framework and patchwork of this beautiful organic cycle that was taking place, and that you needed to respect and love nature and every part of it, whether it was trees or animals or whatever the natural cycle was. You needed to respect it, and not only respect it, but you could draw from it. If you understood your place in it, you could not manipulate, but you could draw from those energies, whether it was organically healing yourself through herbs and things that were apparent within nature that could help you. But the reason it was just blacklisted as this incredible anti-Christ, anti-God witchery was because it removed God, or having to look to God as a healing factor and a way of saving yourself.
Well, it was coming from natural elements that wasn't from God. So
well, from God, but from the things that God made, but not from directly from God Himself.
So you're saying from the moon or from the sun, we can plant our seed, or we can have herbs, or we can heal our own body from this, whatever. And it's like, no, God can heal you.
Which is so ironic, Because I mean, at the end of the day, all you're doing is acknowledging the beauty of the creation that God. If you believe God made it, you're literally just saying, well, I'm using the things that God gave us to create this beautiful balance and draw from it to...
Maybe they got it wrong,
Yeah, but it's just funny that
give them a benefit of the doubt. They got it wrong.
But it's so funny that,
the pagans are going to take over. They're going to come down from Ubud and they're going to...
Bring cocoa.
It's incredible how by using the things that God created... you're apparently offending the people that believe in the God. Yeah. It's crazy, isn't it? It's so bizarre. But I guess that comes just down to hierarchy and control, because if people don't need to have a direct line with God...
Well, it comes from fear. So I think in the old days it came from fear, because it's just like you're saying, this woman that can heal people from herbs or, things like that. And this person's a Christian, like, like from the Vatican or whatever it is, and they're just going, that woman can't heal this wound from just those herbs. She must be a witch.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, and now these days it's like you can go into a chemist and you can get these natural remedies, which you know, it's
but it also means that there's no need for an authoritative figure to plug you into God, like the Catholic Church or whatever it is. Like, I mean, it's so much easier to control people if they feel like they have to come to you to get to the greater good.
Well, that's where it comes from, fear. So if you put fear into people, that's where you control people. Yeah. And that's hence burning the witches. You know, it's just like, fuck, you know. That it comes from the devil. It comes from demons, you know.
Yeah, the whole heaven and hell concept.
Yeah.
And with the Dharmic religion is reincarnation. Reincarnation?
Everything just keeps going, right?
Yeah. I mean,
the cycle just keeps. Yeah, it's just energy.
Yeah,
it's all energy. So just like if you just get, it's like compost, right?
Yes, it is.
Like,
Yeah,
you go in the compost.
Energy. Yeah. Reincarnation is not in my head as a skeptic. Reincarnation is like that. When you die, your energy turns into something else.
Humans can't work this shit out. Humans could never work out life.
No.
That's
I don't think we're supposed to work it out.
You can't.
Personally, I think
the human brain can't fucking work out what's going on in the universe.
No.
Yeah, you're only going to work this shit out when you die.
I think we just take parts of it. We just take parts of it that help us learn.
It's fragmented.
Something to some capacity that takes us to the next. Takes us to the next.
It's very fragmented. I think all through history we've got fragments of what the meaning of life is.
Yes.
And that's what everyone's trying to find. It's like you're never going to find it until you die, and then you could die and nothing happens, or you could die and then here we go. What you just no one knows.
There's no way to document it.
No one fucking knows. I don't care what anyone says. Like everyone goes, yeah, I know exactly. When you reincarnate, whatever. There could be a reincarnation. There could be God. There could be the devil. No one really knows.
As soon as someone says they know 100%, I just think
you can have an idea. I think you can have an idea, and it could be a movie in your head, or it could be a movie that you can show to people, and I just think it's fragments of what the possibility is, or maybe we just need to evolve.
Yeah, I think you can be personally convicted and convinced of something to enough of a degree that you want to live your life according to that thing. That you feel like, things operate like this, therefore the way that I'm gonna live my life according to that structure and that belief, because when I do, I get the most out of it. I feel the most like the most inner happiness, the most inner peace, the most contentment. I feel like I produce the most things that make me feel satisfied, and that I look back on with content and go, wow, I made that, and every step forward is a good step forward. Like if you have a structure in your head about the way the world works that allows you to achieve that, that's fucking awesome. Yeah. But there has to be an acceptance that if someone else finds a different structure to achieve that, and a different set of beliefs to achieve that, you can't shatter their set of beliefs completely. And and it's when people do, when they try and shatter each other's beliefs. And
what it comes down to is just love and empathy. 100%. You can't deny that.
Yeah.
I mean, just hate has a certain thing. I hate you, and it's just but I love you, or I empathize with you. You know exactly what that's one thing that I guarantee in my life that I know is love and hate, and it's just or empathy. Empathy is the biggest thing.
Empathy. That's why everyone needs to take magic mushrooms
or ecstasy.
Or
MDMA.
It's like
Donald Trump should take mushrooms and MDMA.
If that
straight
guy
now,
just like if I could just replace his corona cure injections
just
with
give
a
him
big
mushrooms.
whack of MD and mushrooms,
like a triple dose, and DMT,
and then just have some amazing.
Oh, mate,
beautiful acoustic music playing.
His ego will just be
and rip it, get him out of that shitty morgue, like hospital room, wherever he is. No matter how pretty it is, it's still a fucking cold room made out of concrete and tiling. get him out into nature, like just sit him next to some little stream
or the bottom
near
of
a waterfall,
and his mouths.
Yeah, just with a beautiful sunset over the ocean, and just teach him what it's like to be a human in touch with nature and all living things. That would be fucking cool. Yeah.
I remember one time not only one time. I mean, when I was a teenager, I would read the Bible every night before I go to sleep, and then I take some notes on what I learned that day in my life, and then I would also jot down the questions I have. Either it's about the verses I read, what does it mean, something like that.
How old were you?
Like 12, 13, something like that.
Man, you're ahead of your time.
But those questions never got answered. I mean, I took a hold on those notes because in my head that time I want to ask those questions when I die.
Right.
to Saint Peter or God or just anything.
Oh, really? You were writing down questions to ask to whoever the holy gatekeepers were.
Yeah, and I also remember. I think I forgot. Was it me or somebody else? Asked my priest at the church, what happened to the people that never heard about Jesus? Will they go to heaven or not? Something like that. And then, luckily, I think he might have said something that it's not our business. It's not our business because God created them. So why should we bother knowing what's gonna happen to them? Mm-hmm. And then I think that also gives way to my understanding right now.
If they didn't know about him, So if no one knew about him, is that what
will you go to hell?
So can we just not tell anybody about him, and then everyone's safe?
Yeah.
Exactly. Can we? Just,
how to save people is to not tell them about Jesus.
It's a catch-22.
It's
guys.
A catch-22.
Sign the.
It's like
how do you explain that?
How do you explain a catch-22? It's
I know a movie called that.
Yeah. Well, it's a famous book, but it's like any way that you resolve the situation, you also create the situation. It's like whatever you do to fix it is probably the same thing that's going to cause it. So you're caught in this situation that whichever way you go, you're fucked. Story of my life.
Yeah, you're fucked either way. Yeah.
Or if you want to break it down,
good either way. Depending what you're.
Like a Pandora box.
Yeah. Well,
the Pandora box is more for
that's more curiosity.
Open something that you're curious about, and then you just open a big pile of fucking snakes that.
Tell us more, Athron. What's going on with your Pandora's box? Athron.
Oh mate, my life is a Pandora's box. And what's the Russian doll thing called again? Where every time you
pop the doll out.
Yeah, I've got a Pandora's box within a Pandora's box within a Pandora's box. It's like a never-ending Russian doll of Pandora's boxes.
Just snakes.
Just one after the other.
They're not dolls, they're snakes. Yeah. They're just snakes.
Or blackbirds.
Blackbirds. Just trying to fight their way out of my soul.
And also you mentioned about how people from different or even opposing the beliefs or political backgrounds can come together to enjoy music. I mean, that's what we are here for as musicians. I mean, if a musician stands for something that's against that, I don't believe in his music or her music.
Yeah, sure.
Like if you get a like on Instagram for one of your songs, right? And you're not going to go, are they, what religion?
No.
What religion are they? What political, are they left? Are they right? You're not thinking about that. You're just going, hey, fuck, you love the music.
Yeah, we just care about the music, about the joy.
Yeah, it's a weird thing, man. And right now, what's happening now? It's going crazy because you don't just have the political agenda; you've got conspiracy agenda now. So it's just like I've got mates that are hating and defriending each other, just going "fuck you, you conspiracy cunt," or it goes the other way, and I'm just like, fuck. If you don't want to see it, just don't defriend them. Just don't follow them. Don't like. Because I've got friends that I don't believe in what they want to, what they do, and I'm just like, that's okay. And if they're posting stuff I don't agree with, and it annoys me, I just don't follow it. But I'm still friends, because when we get together, we have a beer and we say, how was that gig? Yeah, fucking sweet. So. Yeah, people are forgetting the whole idea about life is like fucking hell. We all just want to live in peace and just no guns.
It seems like this year everyone's looking for the differences between each other instead of acknowledging the things that we all cross over.
But what
on.
made it that way? Okay, so COVID made it that way a little bit. Is it
COVID and
because we have more time to do that.
I don't think COVID made it that way. I just think COVID magnified and exposed the position we've gotten to when it comes to this social media barrage of information where everyone, like that thing that I was talking about before, where sort of when you're younger you're trying to prove who you are. I feel like the problem with social media is it's like this new wave of doing that again, but not with your own personal space within like a person-to-person contact level where you should grow out of it. It's like this new wave of doing it digitally where once again you get, even when you're an adult and you're already matured and you've already worked out who you are, again you get to reimpose who you are, but stamping it digitally out into the great ether of the internet. Yeah,
and you're not going to go up on the train and go, "You're a Trump supporter. I hate the way you think about this," or whatever.
Yeah,
Biden
it's magnified in the sense
online,
that
you're just going to be, because you're incognito.
Anonymous.
No one knows who. Well, they can check on you if you're a bot or whatever, but the stuff people say online. Like, they'll never say it to you face to face. If you had a conversation right now, you just go, "Oh, actually, you're a good guy. Okay, you believe in this." You might have an argument, but deep down, you're a good guy. But online, there's no physical.
It dehumanizes us.
Yeah, there's no social cues.
No face to contract.
If I offend you, I'm not going to see this fear, this crying little tear in the eye. You don't see that. So online, you're just going to go, "Fuck you," and you don't know that person on the other end of that computer is fucking bawling their eyes out. Or, that's the problem. There's so really much connection, but so much separation at the same time.
It's also like, as you get older, your circles grow smaller in the sense that the older you get, the more likely it is that everyone within your sphere of people that you see and come in contact with already knows who you are. Yeah. So you get to a point where, like, I'm pretty well established amongst my friends as to who I am. They all know who I am. Even the guy down the shop that I go to every day to pick up the milk, he pretty much knows who I am as far as he needs to know who I am. Yeah. I don't need to reinstate that to that guy. But when it comes to the internet, you are in a world that is an endless infinity
it's a dark
space
hole
of having to prove who you are, because there's always someone new questioning what you said. There's always someone new that you've got to go, "No, I believe this," because there's just this infinite portal of access to it. There's too many people.
But it's not one-on-one.
It's not normal to have access to that many people at the same time. We're not
sitting next to each other having a conversation. We're just sitting there doing a little paragraph about this big and going, "Fuck you, man. You're full of shit. Fuck off back to your own country."
Yeah, and then you're like, next, someone else needs to hear that. Yeah. Right, someone else.
And then someone unlikes you. What did you unlike me? It's just like, fuck off.
It's like the whole, I remember hearing that sort of defined with the whole porn thing, how like, how pornography, you can have like 50 websites open on your browser, like to like just flicking through porn after porn after porn, and like someone saying it'd be like flashing back 200 years ago and just setting up a massive building and just getting people to have various types of sex in every room, and then just running down the hallway, just peering into one room after another, going,
wanking.
"Oh, no, there's that." Like, I mean, it would, the likelihood of that being so ridiculous, and yet suddenly we're in this situation where we have access to all this stuff at once.
Porn penetrates every religion.
Yeah.
We fucking know that.
Nice choice of penetrate.
You just know. It's just...
Yeah.
Yeah, you all got VPNs. And you're just down the dirty hole.
Yeah, why don't we acknowledge that? I mean...
Yeah, I don't want to see your browser, mate. And you don't want to see my browser.
No, I don't.
That's the thing. That's your private thing. Whatever you're into, it's okay.
Yeah.
It's okay, man. It's
you
your
fuck
private.
one pig.
You fuck. Is that Black Mirror?
It's just an old joke.
That's the first Black Mirror.
It's the first Black Mirror episode. Yeah.
You fuck one pig.
You know that, like, no matter what, no matter how good you are, you just fuck one pig, and that's all anyone's ever going to remember. We've got one half a shot each of this Arak left, I reckon. We may as well.
On the electrical cords.
Yeah. There we go. Rock and roll.
Yeah, so we're going religion, we're going politics, but we're going pretty light on it, which is pretty cool. Because we're one-on-one, we're not in a thread.
Because
we're not on a...
We're not threading.
We're not threading through the Facebook
threading
thread.
our anger.
The cobwebs of the threads.
The cogwebs.
Cogwebs.
I like what you did there.
Cogwebs.
The cogwebs, mate.
Well, I didn't actually say cogwebs.
Yeah, but I heard. Heard cogwebs.
Well, that resonated with you.
Cogwebs.
Cogwebs.
There's something in that. There's some stupid poem.
We could start a whole cult.
I could put up a really shit meme tomorrow and,
cogwebs.
Just the dark web. The dark web has caught me in its cogwebs.
Cogwebbing through Facebook. This Arak's pretty strong.
It's good that the microphones can pick up the toilet flushing in the background.
That's the toilet flushing, guys.
That's the water feature. Just over there by the garden. Yes, thank you for tuning in. All right, that's the last of the Arak. That's my birthday Arak from...
Yeah. From
was it this year or last year?
No, it was a month ago or 2 months ago or whatever it was.
Oh, mate. That'd be great. A month ago. Time flies faster than that, mate. It was like 5 months ago.
This whole living room had 20 people jammed in here.
That was a good night.
Jamming. Yeah,
it was a great night. Cheers, motherfuckers.
Cheers.
Cheers, guys. Yay.
All right. Down the hatch.
Let's talk about music.
Yeah.
Play us a song, man. Come on.
I think we've gone a little bit too deep into the religious.
Here we go. Here's Andreas.
The religious internet hole. Andreas the master, Andreas.
He picks up any instrument.
It's just unbelievable.
I'm going to give up.
Like, I'm a guitarist, I'm a songwriter, but I'll get together with Andreas to produce a song, and I'll have my capo on the 5th fret, and I'll be playing something, and I'll be like, I don't know, how do I do a harmony with that bit on the guitar? Because I don't have a fucking clue where my capo is.
The 6th fret.
And he'll just go, just move your finger up to that and do that with the other finger, and it'll be perfect. And it is. And I'm like, Jesus Christ, man.
That's classically trained. I've got a few mates who are classically trained, and they're just their brain just works. Hey, your brain's just different, right?
Mate, my brain compared to yours.
Can I point to any fret and you'll know what it is? Yeah,
I know.
I won't test you, but
yeah, it's crazy, man.
Play Beethoven right now.
Flight of the Bumblebee.
Composer's brain. Flight of the Bumblebee and 260.
But it's a different makeup, man. It's crazy the way you guys.
Yeah, I wish I stayed in school for some. Sometimes I have regrets.
I should have learned things.
Well, to be fair, I was classically trained in composition, not necessarily in piano or something like that, or guitar.
When did you first start playing piano?
When I was 8, I studied the electric organ.
Right.
So it has the rhythm box.
Yep.
And then my my left foot is playing the bass
Oh,
line.
so you.
Oh, right.
Oh, you're at the pedals.
Yeah, the
So you-
pedals.
you-
Oh wow, that's really old
from
school.
an early
Yeah,
age.
really
So that's
old.
like church organ.
Yeah, it's
Oh,
more like
wow.
that, but
That
electric.
separation of hand to foot is really important to like.
I
sort of
think so.
splits- I think
You're
The
still
musician-
a shit drummer, mate.
Because but independently I didn't do classical stuff. I mean like the Bach. It
You can play it though.
no, I cannot do
I've
all
seen you play.
four.
Oh, okay, but you can play it on the piano though.
Maybe only the theme and the harmony, something like that. But yeah.
Oh, bummer. Bummer. I can play. Ding. That's it.
But I know how. Well, not exactly at that age, but when I was in the 6th grade, I learned
So how old were
harmony.
you? What age?
12 maybe.
12.
12 or
So
something.
when
Man,
did you first started playing though?
8.
8.
8,
Oh,
yeah.
Shit, that's
Yeah.
ways. Fuck.
grade 6, I was
That's
literally
why.
picking boogers out of it
Yeah.
with the recorder. Like, that was as far as I got.
Just going,
Yeah.
I was actually playing the recorder with it.
Yeah, I played
And
that
my
too.
school teacher was like, "Stop that, Phil." Philip. Philip.
But I was lucky because when I was in 11 or 12, my parents had this plan to move out to Solo to
Oh,
Central
solo.
Java. Yeah,
You've been a solo. You love solo.
it's really.
I felt like
Look at your
I
face.
felt like my soul. Oh,
So,
my soul.
Where in
oh.
Java is it? Is it
That's
Central
quite
Java.
Central Java? Yeah.
Yeah,
He told me the story
Central.
when he came back. He was like, "Oh."
Yeah, I didn't have the best time in solo.
He didn't say anything bad about it. But he
Yes,
didn't
I
say
did.
anything-
I said
Oh,
a lot
okay.
of
Well, I
bad
was just
shit
trying to be
about-
a politician here.
Oh,
Nah.
Podcasts are not for being politically
Well, it's like
correct.
my hometown, right? Solo's like the like
yeah, I
I'm
felt
from
like-
I'm from Palmerston
I
North.
feel like
right?
Solo is
everyone's just
Palmy North.
Palmy. Yeah, so Solo's like the Palmerston North of
That's what I
of
felt.
Java.
That's what I felt. Tell us about solo, Andreas.
I never moved there. I mean,
What's going on there, mate?
I have many. So my mom was born in there.
Is that the same as the drink Solo?
Solo?
Mate, you're stretching.
Huh?
Are you trying to make a parallel between a Western soft drink and
Like, I just
an
remember
Indonesian
drinking
city?
Solo. Where's Solo? Is that in Australia?
No, solo is like that's probably that's
It's about the
made
same.
by Coke, right?
SOLO.
SOLO,
Yeah. I remember.
It used to be a capital of the ancient, not really
I just
ancient.
remember drinking it. Was it in
ancient kingdom.
Malaysia or something? Or
No, solos. That's just a.
where's Solo from? Anyway,
Let's just get out of the.
it's just.
Let's get out of the Pepsi factory. Back to Andreas' story.
So because of the,
Man,
I think
I'm drunk. Just don't listen to Phil.
I think there was a economical crisis that time, so they sent my older brother, there to he went to school there, and the plan was the next year that we would all move there because my mom has so many relatives and families in there, but in preparation to moving to Solo, they made me study harmony. Harmony is the study of chords, actually. Chords and how things coming
When
together.
you're 8
Yes.
years old.
No. 11.
Oh, 11. Okay.
Yeah. After.
Wow.
So how many on piano or
On the electric organ, so
Right.
I would learn how to
how
play.
to harmonize with
Yes.
one note, the root note, and then
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah,
wow,
yeah.
okay.
Because in the head, they want me to be able to play in the surfaces in church.
okay.
Yeah.
So it's a very traditional way of playing. Or?
Not really traditional, but I was lucky because my church was, I think it was Presbyterian. So in the books of songs, we got so many different backgrounds of songs. Some songs would derive from Javanese culture. From some songs would
Right.
derive from the hymns of the Black American tradition, something like that.
So you get a whole mix from England, America,
And Asia,
and
even India, something like that. My teacher was a really good one, so he would teach me how to find out the chords to be able to play this kind of music, and how to transpose.
You know,
like
the best R&B singers are from gospel, right?
Yes, exactly.
So you're destined to be famous.
Like John Legend.
Yeah, man. Yeah, man. All those guys, they grew up in choir.
Yes. Yeah, I was lucky to be able to learn all that.
You've got soul. That's the thing. You've got solo.
You mean the drink?
See what I did there? Shut up, Athron.
So then the plan was cancelled, and then I got into junior high school where every guy that plays guitar is cool.
Yeah,
Do you have that also?
Yeah.
If you can play guitar, you're cool.
Not really, but later on in
flicking
high school,
boogers with the recorder wasn't cool? What are you saying?
So I would then so in my church there's this it's called Saturday workshops, something like that. So the teenager who wants to study how to play the guitar, there's an older teenager that's gonna teach you how to play guitar. And there are maybe if you want to be able to dance, modern dance, there's a club for that.
Oh, you missed out, mate.
So I really want to be able to play the guitar, so I went there.
Oh, so guitar was one of your early instruments.
After
that's
the electric
why
organ.
you're so good.
Ah.
He lied to us. He fucking lied to us.
Well, it's not my first instrument.
I thought you were a piano player, but now I know the secret. He lied to us, Athron. But he is a guitarist.
But he's a classical guitarist, so he doesn't play like pop songs and like that.
That's all sort of
all the oh wait. It's something like that. Okay, I fucked up.
What he's talking about.
So and then after that I taught myself the guitar on how to play the chords I learned from the harmony class.
So guitar was actually your first instrument?
No, it was electric organ.
Was it? Okay.
Yeah.
But you were still quite young when you were learning.
Yeah, you could say that. So I figured out, so every fret just separated half step apart.
Yeah. Right.
So if I want to play the C major, I should put my fingers in this fret and this fret and these strings. I worked it out, and then I had this diagram of charts with the tabs.
Wow. Tablature.
Yeah. Oh, this is the C major, and then if you want to play, what is this one? C major 9. Oh, this sounds like this. So So I got introduced early on.
Wow. Oh man, that's awesome.
Fuck.
I was lucky
awesome.
to be.
You're still quite young when you.
That's just awesome. You hear these stories and I just go, why didn't I ever just learn all that theory
when you're younger
and get it ground in me?
Well, my mum gave me piano lessons when I was like 11, I want to say.
I got them about 11.
And I got about 4 lessons, and I was just like, and I now. I don't have any regrets in my life. That's one regret I have.
I wish
I should have stayed at the piano because it was. I know how to sit properly.
Yeah,
and just have the.
You're a great sitter,
mate. Hands,
You're a great sitter.
But I can sit right, and that's it. And I was just like, to this day, I was like, oh, Mum, I'm sorry.
Mama, ooh.
But I think every teenager should start with the songs that they hear in the radio.
That you enjoy.
That's so true.
Not the classical only.
Isn't it insane that music, which has got to be the most attractive thing to any human, whether they realize it or not, I honestly believe that for most humans, music is the one thing that connects us all without any barriers or divides, and it's the one thing that just makes us, we all get pulled to without, beyond maybe food. What else grabs us all and unifies us more than music? if you think that, and then you think that a child can be turned off music at music class, what the fuck is going on with that music teacher? I mean, growing up at school, I was absolutely had no, like, I learnt piano and drums at an early age, but it wasn't at school. I mean, at school, I found music. The thought of music class was like, not a chance, man. Like, all I saw was a dude with like the tiniest shorts, like squashing his.
What? Where are you?
Yeah, some fat
tiny
a dude with a fat gut, shorts. Tiny shorts, socks pulled up over his knees,
mate,
and a weird slick back hairstyle. No, but it was by the fashion police. I mean, like, but like, you know, leading, like creating a music class to do an end of year school musical that he wrote of like the shittest songs. I mean, he was definitely good at music. He was a music teacher, but nothing he did made me want to join that music class. It was all just like, what the fuck? Yeah, as you said, music teachers should be looking at what the current trend of music is, what kids love,
but these
and going, let's get these kids addicted to music. You got to remember, there's a flip
side of this. So you've got...
Is there a flip side?
There is a flip side.
What's the flip side?
So the flip side is like, at a school, you've got budget, right? And you've got money designated.
How does budget stop you from acknowledging what a kid wants to learn?
Can you let me talk, man?
No.
Okay, so you got a budget, and you might have one music teacher at a school, and they're paying him a certain amount of money, and you've got a classroom full of 30 kids, 15 kids, whatever, and there could be so many a day. Like, how does that one school teacher connect with every single child?
Well, he should at least connect with more than one.
Yes, but they're given a curriculum that they go, okay, well, you're just going to teach one thing. Because the thing is, it's not one-on-one. Because I get it. If you got a one-on-one teacher, that you can just go, well, look, what do you want to hear? Stairway to Heaven? Do you want to hear fucking reggae? Do you want to hear, it's in a classroom, man. They're getting paid, and they've got to teach that one thing. Do you agree with me? Like, it's...
Yes and no.
Look, I think Mr. Cooney would love to hear you defending him.
Who's Mr. Oh, your music teacher?
old high socks. No, I totally hear what you're saying.
But you get it, right? Like,
I do. I totally.
15 to 30 kids in a class.
I totally hear what you're saying.
You have to take so many of these classes.
But it definitely didn't
My
help
brother's
me.
a school teacher. My sister-in-law's a school teacher, and I empathise with those guys. Because you can't like just like... You can give one-on-one here and there after class, and it's 5 minutes. Okay, you've got to learn algebra. You got to learn this.
But I don't remember a shred of modern music at the time, like of what kids loved. I don't remember a shred of it even being introduced to anything.
At high school, my Miss Barrett, I think she's dead now, but I don't know. But she was very classical.
How did you kill her?
But she was a little bit cool-ish, but she was very classical. So you had to learn the recorder, and it was like, and it was just like we're doing a little bit of sight reading, notation and stuff. But how do you connect with every single kid in that class?
I have an argument for that.
If you go,
let's hear Andreas' argument.
What's that?
So during our time, radio is already there. Yeah, you just need to ask them. I mean, the charts are there for.
You got to remember, I'm old, right?
I mean,
but there
back in the old days,
there were charts in the 1920s
already,
too,
right?
Yeah, but what I'm saying is, it's like you've got the set program. I mean, unless you got that one teacher that's just like
no, but this is the point of the whole argument we're making. Like,
but I think I know the problem. What the problem was, but is that not every music teacher is able to compose or to arrange.
Yeah, I mean, they're not like, let's play some Led Zeppelin, kids.
Yeah,
like not all of them good. Like my teacher at high school was very classical. So and she tried to be a little bit hip now and again, but she couldn't, because she was very like dum bum 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 bum. Come on, guys, got to be on time, And she was an older woman, and it's hard to connect, if we had a teacher that was maybe 30, 35, it might have been different than when, okay, well, let's...
Yeah, but I still agree with Andreas that, like, what you can still plug into what's playing on the radio at the time and say to your class of kids, let's take a vote on the song that you want, the latest song that's playing now that you all love, and we can all look at what we can do is spend the next week breaking down that song, breaking down the chords, breaking down the structure.
That comes down
and
to
learning to play
the
it.
individual teacher.
No, really.
Well.
I mean, you can have an ensemble of recorders and melodicas to play maybe like a Led Zeppelin or an AC/DC song, as long as you know how to distribute the notes.
Sure.
So I think that's what was lacking in the.
What I'm saying is, like,
training.
if you get an old school teacher that's been doing this for 30 years, and she knows what she does, and the high school or whatever the school is believes in this teacher, and this is like, you're a good teacher.
But you're still just reinstating what the problem is. You're not saying that that's why it should be that way. I mean, like, I'm not going to agree with you and go, yeah, I agree, that's why it should have been that way.
No, I'm just
going to say
that's the problem.
I'm just saying for what it was when I was at school.
I get
why.
Then
at the same time, I had an art teacher that was like, yeah, kids, let's just fucking go crazy.
Yeah,
because
exactly.
she was a hippie. And,
mate, exactly the same with me.
Yeah.
I had an art teacher that was just connected with the kids, just like made me excited about art, and like a lot of my friends are still friends with her years later. Like they became as they grew older, because she wasn't that much older than us. She was like early 20s.
But it comes down to the individual teachers. You can't just fire a person and you're not teaching the kids in a certain creative way. You're
defending the.
I'm just
and I'm saying that's why they sucked.
No. Look, I don't think she sucked. She did the best that she could do,
of course,
with her capabilities. That's what I'm saying. She wasn't a bad teacher.
But I just it reminds me of the program that have you ever heard of Leonard Bernstein? He was a really renowned conductor, and he would make TV programs and explain to the kids. I mean, I was talking about the 5-6 years old kids. He would gather them up with their parents, and he was such a really good educator and presenter that he can really he can ask the orchestra to play some classical pieces that was being made famous by the movies at the time. And then he would talk about the piece.
Oh, cool!
And make it interesting for the kids to be interested enough to learn more on it. But I don't think back in the days.
But not everyone has that capability.
Yes.
Yes. Right.
Yeah, but it's a shame. Like, it's a shame that they don't, because then there's so many kids that are left.
But that's where you need to put more money into teaching, because that's very important.
Yes,
I mean,
agree.
New Zealand, I think they only put the pay grade up a few years ago, and as it was, they were only getting 50,000 a year or whatever it was. So very, like, compared to here, it was very low. So it's, I don't want to say it's just about pay grade, but it comes down to the individual teacher. Some of them just walk in hungover, like,
and also I guess it comes down to, like, well, I don't know if it comes down to the teacher as much as it comes down to the curriculums that are handed down by the whole educational boards. I mean,
it's an overall.
The teacher can be whoever, but if the curriculum that's reinstated and that's handed down is, hey, look, we need to get kids more on board with music.
There was a high school when I grew up in Palmerston North, called Awatapu, which it was a high school that pumped out so many good musicians.
Is it because it was such a shit place? That
no. It was
it's often connected.
Their music department was amazing.
Oh, right.
It was just phenomenal. It was like all my mates that went to Awatapu were just, they're still playing now. They're fucking amazing musicians. Just because they must have pumped more money into it, and they had good utilities, good teachers and stuff, and other places that didn't have that budget. maybe failed a little. No, I don't want to say failed. That's probably a bad word. But
You can say fail.
No,
You're amongst
Yeah.
friends, mate.
but I've got mates to this day. They went to Tapu, and they're just fucking awesome. They're just fucking phenomenal players, you know.
Yeah, right.
But that school embraced the music.
What's the music curriculum like in
when I was growing up?
when you went to school?
Well, I benefited more from the harmony class and the Saturday workshops,
right.
because
The general school curriculum, like how would you rate it?
6 or 5 out of 10.
Yeah, right.
Wow.
But so I remember when I was in the junior high school, our music teacher was really he was not a classically trained teacher, but he was quite a strict teacher, like you mentioned earlier about one of your teachers.
Very classical, very...
Yeah, very strict, something like
Yeah.
that. And my class was full of... I mean, we had more naughty children in there.
Naughty.
But it was his
naughty.
favorite class to teach at because they were all so musical. Because
Right,
we
yeah.
would I think there was this assignment to play our own compositions. It was really rare at the time, I think. And then
But that's fun, though.
it's really fun.
Yeah, I remember at high school when we had to notate the composition.
And distribute the notes to all the kids in the
but
class.
you had to write it out, and I was just like, oh, fuck, this is awesome. And I was into Joe Satriani, so it was all tapping. Yeah.
Yeah. And also in the high school we had it's called the Tart Concert. I don't know why they call it that way, but it was an inner school competition between classes. The 9th grader, 10th grader, 10th grader, 11th grader, and the 12th grader is the high school. So we would compete with each other in choirs, and not only choirs, but we're free to use whatever instrument we can play.
Right. Yeah.
So when I was a fresh. What do you call the first year of the
Freshman?
high school? Freshman. When I was a freshman.
That's American, but
Yeah.
yeah.
I would.
In New Zealand, we'll call it a turd. Third formers were a turd, but anyway, carry on.
Yeah, I was the music director because I was the one who was
really?
literate. So I would.
So you could sight read?
them. Yeah, I can.
Fucking Jesus.
And in Indonesia,
You're a
we
nerd.
we use numbers notation, not the musical notation.
Oh, no actual, yeah?
No. They taught us that, but not every kid understands it because not every music teacher can teach that.
Wow.
So I would use the number notation to teach them how to sing these lines and then to distribute
you were teaching
it.
back then.
Yeah, I would.
That's mental.
I would. I just remember that way.
No wonder you're so good.
I was training them, and then we won as the winner of the competition. So I think that propels me into this day.
Yeah. Well, you're very motivated, you know.
Yeah, I think so too.
Have a holiday, mate. It's like, I've been working since 8 a.m, 7 days a week.
I really think you should have a holiday after we finish my album.
Yeah, after we finish my EP.
Yeah.
But I did take little vacations here and there. Yeah.
But the thing is, like, we all know that there's no such thing as a vacation from
No, you just got to
creative
keep
creating.
output.
Because we don't feel like working.
No, it's I mean, like, it's a pandemic where all my work finished, like, got cut off in March. I could have spent the last 6 months just lying on a beach, just enjoying the sun. But, like, I literally, like, I live in North Bali in a village, and I haven't once, like, in 6 months, just gone, you know what, today I'm just going to lie on the beach and I've not once, not once this whole
you
time.
might off on the beach.
But what I mean is I haven't spent a whole day doing that. Sure, I've gone down to the beach for an hour to catch some sun and take a break, but it's literally a break so that I can clear my mind for a bit and then get back into it, get back into the writing, get back into the recording, get back into the creative process. Like it's because it's not something you need to holiday from. It literally is your escape. It's your exactly. It's your conviction. It's your release. It's your valve. It's what keeps you alive.
Sounds like James Taylor. Go and play.
It's so funny. Stewie was just. I said, "Oh, who are you interviewing?" And he said, "James Taylor."
Keep playing that. I love that. It's nice. Sounds like something James.
Sing along, mate. Sing along to it.
No, you sing. Nice.
Yeah, I was lucky also to be friend with more guitarists than keyboardists.
Ah, okay.
I built this. I was always curious on how people would make, because with guitars you only got 6 strings, and with keyboards you have the whole 88 keys. So the limitations forces you to sing differently, to voice a chord differently.
It's also probably the limitation is probably more that you have 4 fingers rather than 10.
Yes, that's true.
Nice. Yeah. Nice. That last note was trying to whistle.
At least you can whistle.
Oh yeah, that's right. You can't whistle.
I can't whistle a note, man.
Oh, that was nice, man.
It's like my
That's a number 1 hit.
Number 1 hit.
That's a number Arak hit. Well, maybe we should start winding down. It's been, we've hit we've almost hit 3 hours.
Should we call it?
We have to call it before 3 hours.
Thanks, guys.
There's no podcast that can go longer than 3 hours.
Thanks, man.
Thanks,
Rock
bro.
and roll, motherfuckers.
All right, we're fisting.
It's the COVID fist.
We're gonna
apparently if
bring
you
down
fist someone when you've got COVID, you can't catch it. Like the knuckles.
Well, double fisting you can
you
catch
can,
it, but single fisting.
I'm sure there's been a few things caught with a double fisting, but
double fisting.
I'm glad we ended on that note.
As long as we end the podcast on double fisting, that's the only way to wrap anything up.
Well, I love you guys. Bali Rooftop.
Thanks for tuning in. Thanks for hanging out with us.
Thanks for having us, Andreas.
To stick around.
Yeah.
Great to have Andreas here. He'll be back. I think we're going to do quite a few more of these.
Yeah.
Very relaxed, very chilled, Arak smashing, guitar playing, shit talking podcast. So I'd say considering Phil wants to whistle more, and considering we both work with Andreas
to stop now because I'm drunk
a lot with our musical projects, and we all hang out a lot, there's going to be a lot more of this. So thanks, dudes. Let's sign off.
Yeah.
Rock and roll.
Sayonara.
Adios, amigos.
Salamat malam.